Good afternoon, everyone. I think I know most everyone here, but I'm Kevin Wing, the Executive Director of Open Arms, and most of you have heard me talk way too much over the years, so I won't talk too much today, but as you know, we have a special announcement. But let me give you a little bit of a history about our relationship with Senator Amy Klobuchar. The poor senator has, I don't think we've been stalking you, Senator, but we've been persistent, maybe, is a better word. Everyone here knows how supportive Senator Klobuchar has been around all the issues that are important to Open Arms. Certainly healthcare in the United States, certainly healthy living, obesity in children especially. All of the issues that are critically important to Open Arms are a really good match with what Senator Klobuchar has been doing for the state of Minnesota in Washington, D.C. in her first term. And although we are a bipartisan organization, having this particular voice in the nation's capital is incredibly important to the clients that Open Arms serves. And I made light of the fact that that we have been talking to the senator for a very long time about this project, long before we first put a shovel in the ground last year. And I will say, one of the things that first struck me about Senator Klobuchar is several years ago, John Fry was the chair of our board at the time. And we go to Washington, D.C. every year to advocate on the Hill for issues that are important to our clients. And those of you who have done advocacy in D.C. know that you tend to meet with a lot of really talented staff members, which is great because they do a lot of work for our elected congressional delegation. But when we called the senator's office and said that we'd be stopping by her office to talk about Open Arms, the senator made time on her schedule and met with John and me. And I can say that in 4 years of going to Capitol Hill, it is the only time that we've actually met with an elected official. So that says a lot about the kind of As I said, we have a very special announcement, and we thought there would be no better person to make that announcement than Senator Amy Klobuchar. So it's my privilege to officially introduce her and for her to tell you what we've been working on for about 24 years. Senator Klobuchar.
Is that I was introduced a few months ago, my all-time low of introductions, by the Chief Judge of our Federal District Court, as we are so pleased to have with us, there are you okay? Okay, good. We are so pleased to have with us the senior citizen of Minnesota. People there, so this was a lot nicer. So I want to thank you all for coming out. I know even someone from California who was a volunteer client, and this is going to be a great weekend. I also know that Mayor Rybeck is declaring tomorrow Open Arms of Minnesota Day. Open Arms Day of Minnesota Eve, you know, like Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or something like that. And so I'm pleased to wish you Open Arms of Minnesota Day one day early. And it is wonderful to be in this new facility. He always has been teasing me that I somehow ended up at a very similar facility that was not nearly as nice one time in California for the Democratic National Convention, and was found in the newspaper chalking a cucumber. And he always gave me grief, like, could you consider going to a local facility? And so we finally have made it here, and I'm very excited. You all know that this weekend marks an important milestone for the organization. You have this beautiful new facility, you have a day named in your honor, but here comes my secret announcement, and that is this. You go back in history, in 2005, Open Arms delivered its 1 millionth meal, which is super cool. And it took 19 years, when you look back in time, to reach that goal. 19 years to get to that millionth meal. You had smaller kitchens, you had smaller staff, smaller group of volunteers. And today, and this is our big announcement, just 5 years later, Open Arms has doubled its record And today we will serve the 2 millionth meal. Expedited glide path. Like, it'll be 2 years and you'll have 3 million meals in. So thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you for inviting me and the good work that you do. Later today, in fact, just coming up, we're going to bring lunch to a local woman named Mary Pat, who has been bravely battling cancer since January. For almost 2.5 decades, Open Arms has been a beacon of hope and for men and women like Mary Pat, who are too often too sick to cook for themselves. From your first days in 1986, you have prepared and delivered nutritious meals to people suffering from life-threatening diseases ranging from HIV and cancer to multiple sclerosis and Lou Gehrig's disease. You have opened your arms not only for those who are sick, but also to their families and loved ones. Today, you reach all the way across the globe to South Africa, where Open Arms is providing food and hope to people living with HIV/AIDS. Of course, none of this would have happened without the dedicated staff and volunteers, and were it not for the generosity of Open Arms donors and your board of directors, these 2 million meals may never have been possible. I met your great chefs over here, your maintenance worker, right? Doesn't that look clean, you guys? So many volunteers. You have made this happen. I just was thinking of a story actually that involved volunteering and what it means, and this was happening a few years ago when my daughter she was like 4 years old, and it was the Christmas pageant at our church, and she was to play the angel, right? And she had this really cool like angel wing costume, and so we're sitting there in the pews, and they're doing the rehearsal. And she will not go up there. And I'm sitting out there with her, I said, why won't you go up there? And she says, I want to be married. And I'm this teenager sitting there. I said, you're not tall enough, you can't be married. I want to be the donkey. And the donkey has these 2 teenage boys that don't look like they want to be wearing the really hot, this costume. I said, that just won't work, you won't fit you, that costume. I said, what's the problem? Like, this is the coolest thing, you're the angel, it's really cool. And she looked up way to the top of the church. She said, I can't be the angel, Mom, because I can't fly. And I looked at her that day and I said, you know what, Abigail? Not all angels fly. And so you are the angels that have really kept Open Arms going through the years, whether it is hard work, chopping cucumbers, right? Bringing the food in, UPS people, being the ones that have been cleaning the floors or greeting the volunteers and greeting the clients of Open Arms for so many years. So you don't have to fly to be an angel, because I know every one of you in this room are the angels for Open Arms. So thank you for everything you've done. I am so excited to be the one delivering the 2 millionth meal. I don't know how you keep track of that, Kevin, right? Because we like to have accuracy in the government. We try our best, but not that good. So I'll have to see the statistics or something like that. But anyway, have a great celebration this weekend. You all deserve it, and thank you for everything you've done for our state. Appreciate it. Thank you.